Hey everyone, and welcome back to the North American Challenger Series Spring Playoffs. It's time for Game 2 between Curse Academy and LMQ. But first, I'd like to welcome Cloud9's jungler Meteos to the desk. Welcome. So many junglers in the desk all the freaking time. Every single time. So, first of all, let's go into that game. LMQ, of course, looks great. How do you feel about them?
LMQ definitely looks strong. They pretty much got an advantage off level 1 and snowballed it pretty quickly.
Yeah, so Siege comp, I feel like that's kind of the normal thing for LMQ. Do you actually watch the Challenger scene much? Are you well equipped with like LMQ strategies?
We have played LMQ a lot. I don't watch every Challenger game. I try to tune in sometimes, but we definitely scrim LMQ a lot, and they're very familiar and very good at playing the Siege comps that they run with Nidalee, Qi-Lin, or Lucian, and they just love pushing down your towers and poking you in.
So from your experience playing against them, how's the best way to kind of circumvent that and knock them down? Because that seemed very convincing.
Well, the best thing to do against a Siege poke comp is just get some really hard engage, whether it be like Leona, Vi, just champions that can get in there. But Curse Academy's team comp that game was a really like snowball-y comp where you have Soraka, Ryze, pretty much all their champions do really well when they're ahead, but when they're behind, they can't actually do that much. And so they had an unfortunate level 1, and they just couldn't really come back.
And from a jungler standpoint, it was Elise versus Xin Zhao, and he was building the new Feral Flare item. And how do you feel about Elise in this patch right now, and how she stacks up against Feral Flare, too?
Well, on this patch, Elise is weaker ever since, I think, 4-4, where she got nerfed.
Yeah.
And so she does get outscaled by a lot of junglers, but what she still has going for her are really strong lane ganks. So she can pressure the lane super hard. So what it comes down to is if the team can avoid getting ganked by Elise early game and can just let Xin Zhao farm up, he'll probably outscale her, but on the level 1, there were 16 summoners below in level 1, all flashes, everything. Xin Zhao lost his both of his buffs basically because he got one and then died at his second buff. So he was just incredibly behind, and at that point, Elise can do whatever he wants because Xin Zhao has no counter pressure. He tried to go for some ganks, which when you're that behind, you kind of have to, but it just delayed his Feral Flare that much more and sort of kept him from scaling. So yeah, things just didn't really go Curse Academy's way that game.
Yeah, I don't think he got it all game, actually. Stuck on Rigos the whole time. So players are getting ready. So last question for you, actually. Unfortunate level 1s aside, who's your prediction for Game 2?
I think LMQ will take it. They're extremely strong. Nothing against Curse Academy. Maybe they can come back, but LMQ is definitely a powerhouse. All
right, Meteos, thank you very much. Guys, we're about to get ourselves into this Game 2 right here in the best of 3. And, of course, this match means the winner is in the LCS Summer Promotion Tournament, fighting one of the top, bottom 3 actually LCS teams for their spot in that tournament, in that league. Of course, the loser still has a chance. They're going to face Complexity Black for the 3rd and final spot. That'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, and Complexity Black is still a very strong team. So the loser of this, you don't want to lose because then you put yourself at risk. Win this game, and then you're guaranteed a spot and you don't have to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 teams.
Fight for first.
4 teams competing, 3 spots.
Yes.
So 1 person goes home very, very sad.
5 people go home very sad. 1 team.
That's true.
Very sad.
That's true.
Plus coaches, you never know what all is going to go on in this one. So the Elise banned away from NoName. Curse Academy immediately learning their lesson from that one. Pat still losing his Evelyn. So don't have to get those names confused anymore. We've said them and we're done. Going to move forward to the next couple of champions there. The Orianna still removed from XiaoWeiXiao. Getting the same respect. Nidalee, of course, still available. The Kha'Zix removed away from first pick. So that's a new ban that LMQ has shouldered.
And so no Lucian ban this game.
Not
so
yet.
we'll most likely see Lucian, Qi-Lin. No need to first pick one of them this time because one isn't taken off the table and then you put somebody else on like a 3rd pick.
Yeah.
Soraka banned out by LMQ, so they don't want to deal with that. It wasn't that impressive from Duocek, but the pressure was enough.
Yeah.
And the fact that Nidalee was also taken off the field. We're going to actually switch this. You're going to say Nidalee, I'm going to say Nidalee.
Control the entire audience.
Hasn't been taken off the field. It's been picked up.
Okay, so speaking of how the picks and bans played out, though, so I feel like the Soraka ban actually helped Curse Academy because they got the Nidalee pick here. Didn't have to worry about counter picks there. I think they were happy to grab that one anyway as the steal away from XiaoWeiXiao, but it still means that Caitlyn's still here for Vasilii, and actually Ackerman with LMQ not banning Renekton, he gets the pick here on the 2nd rotation.
And he loved that champion back at Worlds when he was in Royal Club as NoName, just constant Renekton top. That's actually how he made his name in the top lane.
Yeah.
So Ackerman just kept spamming that. And it's a pick that both Rhux and both Rhux and Ackerman.
Yes.
Ackerman and Rhux both have great success on that champion.
True.
Just through and through. So they take it away from Rhux, and he might pick up the Ryze this game.
Yeah, and so keep in mind as well that this is a continuation of what happened last game. You still have the Caitlyn. Also, you've got the better early game champion down in the top lane where they actually ends up going that matchup. You've got Renekton versus anything compared to anything versus Ryze. Like, still the early game lead for LMQ. We're going to see what Curse Academy now does on their side of this. They're going to go for the Shyvana matchup. We have seen that go Shyvana's way, but also Thresh picked up now. Let's see how that goes.
And I like that because the last game might be a little traumatizing here for Rhux, having picked the Ryze and having big goose eggs in his kills and assists, but huge numbers in his deaths throughout the game. So Shyvana stands a little bit of a better chance, especially if you get 2v1.
Yeah.
So I like that pickup, especially against Renekton because you'll eventually outscale him.
Yeah,
given the opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. And I think strategically as well, teams that try to pick for late game against a team that's so dominant early, you just will fall over because your champions aren't equipped to deal with all the ganks and you fall. I feel like more of a sort of mid-paced team is probably the right way to go. Champions like Nidalee who can actually spike on 2 items, Shyvana as well who can hold up pretty well, Thresh always effective. So LMQ, their next picks come through. Lulu has been grabbed. We'll see if that's support or mid lane. I feel like it's a XiaoWeiXiao champion, but we'll see what else they pick.
I would probably put money on. I'll bet on that. I'll bet that that's a mid Lulu there.
All right.
Like, almost definitely, at least in my head.
Sure.
So, the whole thing that's going on through Champ Select right now is everybody's stealing away contested picks all throughout. It's like,
yeah, they are.
First, we're taking a Nidalee here. We don't want to have XiaoWeiXiao back on that champion. Then it's like Renekton Caitlyn. Boom. We take those for ourselves over on LMQ. It's like, okay, we'll take Thresh and Shyvana now. Shyvana no longer contested, but works really well, and they didn't want to give up a lot of their hand. And then you throw it back down, and it's like, oh, Lulu Xin Zhao. So we'll pick our jungler, very highly contested jungler here, and we're going to pick up a mid laner / support.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe pick. You know, both mid lane and support are, you'll get whatever you want. Your opponents have already grabbed those roles, so pick one that's at least contested, like that can swap back and forth and give you that one extra little chance to say, you know, let's make sure we know the matchup, and then pick the lane we want to go with. So Lucian does get grabbed up here for Mastery, not going for Graves versus Caitlyn that he opted into last time, and it's actually...
It's a jungle Shyvana!
It is actually jungle Shyvana, so Curse Academy running jungle Shiv, still going top lane Ryze. This scares me because they've got almost no early game pressure now for Curse Academy.
And here's the thing too, I looked up Pat, and he runs Aatrox, Nocturne, Shyvana, all with Feral Flare in the jungle. So this is going to be a Feral Flare Shyvana coming out here, having a lot of clear.
Yeah.
Because her clear time is very, very good. Even top lane Shyvanas, we've seen them do camps.
Yeah.
When they're in 2v1s just solo by themselves. They're like, okay, I'm going to at least get some experience.
Yeah.
He does that. Hunter's Machete on him. He'll eventually get the Wriggles. He'll get the Feral Flare.
Maybe.
But his clear time is really, really good.
Yeah.
So the fact that you also proc it twice with your Twin Bite, just even deadlier.
It's a big damage boost.
So the thing with Shyvana, though, is that her ganks are a little lackluster. Like you said, the early game pressure is almost non-existent. So it might go on hit Shyvana, which is just a really fun build to do. You're like Blade of the Ruined King on top of your Feral Flare.
You need like a Ruined King or a Randuin second item for some sticking power. See what he gets, grabs with it. So I'm a liar. NoName picks up Xin Zhao, does pick up Feral Flare jungler, but he picks the one that's there for the ganks, not Master Yi, so I'm at least half right on this one, but LMQ have their full lineup, a freaking ton of early aggression. Annie Caitlyn is crazy, Lulu in general is great, Xin Zhao good early gank, Renekton for the lane bully. LMQ the same look for themselves, just a little bit less siege pressure.
I'm looking at this, it's early, all across the board for LMQ. Curse Academy, late game Ryze.
Yep.
Nidalee mid late game. Then down in the bottom.
Shyvana.
Yeah, exactly. Shyvana in the jungle. That is basically, I need to make it to the late game.
It's like the late game-ist AD carry, or jungler, I feel like.
Does do AD damage.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I'll give you that one. Just a
still
little,
going to be
mostly magic damage, but I'll still give it to you. I'm being nice.
No, I don't deserve that.
Fine. Feral Flare does magic damage. You're dumb.
That's
It's correct. A magic carry.
Good job.
There you go.
Okay.
Take that one away from you. You don't deserve it.
Lucian Thresh, though, at least, I mean, they're going to scale pretty much equally. Any of these sort of Trinity Force AD carries, like as much as the AD carry is your late game role, and like you're still going to eventually grab an Eye Edge and a Last Whisper and have really good damage threat, any of the guys who can go Trinity Force second item and succeed with it, I mean, anyone can, not that you should. Trinity Force Vayne, I'm sorry for the spotlight, guys.
I still remember that. I built
to be fair,
on her.
I did recommend Madras Blood Razor, and people are going Ruin King, so I got halfway.
It's not the same.
No, it's not.
It's a different item. Entirely. If you could redo the spotlight today, would you recommend Trinity Force?
No.
Okay. Good.
I've seen it once in a while, though, in competitive.
Yeah, every now and
then. At least in solo queue.
Sneaks up.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not completely horrible, but I understand it's not optimal. But yeah, so a lot of late game focus. But anyway, the point I was making, though, about Trinity Force AD carries is those are ones that at least power spike to mid-game. Like, I think Lucian's 2-item build is way better than Caitlyn's 2-item build, for example. So there's one spike there, but it's 24 minutes into the game.
I think it depends on what Caitlyn's second item is, because I've seen Bloodthirster straight into Last Whisper, and I think that's really good, because then your ace in a hole is just so good at the sieging power in the mid game.
I just feel like I mean, that is very useful. Like, you have really, really good like Qs and Rs. I just feel like you're still not gonna have that same, like, if you look at a 2-item Lucian, you're like, okay, give that guy respect. He'll kill our top laner. You see 2-item Caitlyn, you're like, go Renekton Diver. That's generally my read on it.
I don't remember who it was, but somebody today was like, AD carries are just tank distractors. That's their role.
Yeah, that was Jat. We were talking about that with AD carry support matchups. It was like, yeah, he's a tank distractor.
No, that was Yut.
Oh, it was Jat? Oh,
yeah, I don't think that was Jat.
Okay.
I don't want to give Jat that.
That's right. You know what? Jat doesn't deserve credit either.
Even if he didn't, I don't want to give it to him in case he didn't say it. Because he'll be like, what are you guys saying? No.
One of those two guys. Smart people.
AD carry, the role should just be tank distractor. Because you just run around in circles and draw the aggro.
Tank distractor or feed. If you see me in solo queue, you see Freak, that's me. I call dibs on tank distractor. But you better kill their tank distractor first.
That's pretty much what happens, too. It's like, who can kill the tanks first? Tank distractor, go!
Okay, well, let's see what we get with this one. Curse Academy now in the blue trunks. LMQ wearing red. Health bars, at least. It's really up to them for the skins of what color they wear. Looks like...
They're all grouped up, too. They're waiting for something.
Zhao wearing blue.
Early ward went to that top lane Trabush.
I like that, actually.
So they can see if an invade comes from that side. And they're all just huddling in the middle here. They're kind of like, well, we were late to check our jungle, so we all want to check it together just in case.
I'm curious as to why Ackerman's actually waiting around in Tribrush since he has nothing to do there.
Oh, late invade from Curse Academy coming here. Only 3 men strong.
Well, it's going to be 3 versus 3 actually on this matchup completely. So the damage coming through. Mashmi's around there with Pat. They get a good trinket ward to the brush. Moore gets a 2-man stun, some good damage coming through. The anti-auto attacks, the Flay lands though. These guys are battling back and forth. Pat already running a health potion there. Trinket ward's burned for a lot of people here actually. The battle's still continuing. Good sweeper used. Wow, early sweeper by NoName. Actually removes the ward in the brush.
Well played. It was a great pick up there. And now they don't have the vision to see NoName. And now the poke will just continue to commence. And this is going to be that point where your mid laners are level 3, and when they start showing up to this fight, it's going to be like, uh-oh, what's happening?
Curse Academy, they flinch first. Looks like more. And Vasilii and the rest of the team going to push them away. So blue buff will go successfully to LMQ.
Yeah.
After some time.
Reason they did that is because in the mid lane, Duocek's getting pushed in. So as soon as XiaoWeiXiao had pushed that wave up, he would have gone straight to the golem. And then it would have been like, Nidalee can't fight this. Duocek has to clear a wave or lose all that experience in gold.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense, honestly.
So just tiny little things affecting each other. Jenga!
Yes. Good bit of damage comes through, man. XiaoWeiXiao actually winning this matchup very early on. Duocek trying to last hit under his turret, but right now down 5 minions. And of course, the push from XiaoWeiXiao is going to make that worse over time. More taking a bit of pain. The harass coming back, not too big of a deal.
Level 2 will come out right after that cannon minion.
Yeah, but Duocek, I mean, he's just having a really rough time with this matchup. Is still last hitting. NoName going to grab his own red buff, so the jungle Zhao doing just fine with his items. Pat, a bit slower in this rotation, but with the smite, he's going to get level 3 as well.
Duocek is getting bullied out of this lane by XiaoWeiXiao. And XiaoWeiXiao is an avid Nidalee player and he knows
the engage! Ooh, the flash going to dodge this. Will he survive?
Got the primal surge! He's
going to survive right there. It's going to be all summoners down for XiaoWeiXiao. The same here for Duocek. Just trying to last hit with Qs, but Pat has to now hold the mid lane.
Used the heal on himself, and then threw out the primal surge.
It's the right order.
Removed the healing debuff. Well played there.
And now Mashmi and K1 stuck now underneath their turret. I think they even got to lane first because they disengaged and LMQ is still giving a little bit of help to NoName. So even getting to lane first, Curse Academy still losing in the 2-on-2 right there. This has been a consistent situation here.
And Mashmi's a fantastic player.
Yeah, he is.
It's just the aggression that Vasilii and Moore put out is very unique and very different compared to anybody else you'll end up facing in lane. And NoName, he kind of stuck it to you there. He played Zhao game 2.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Counter jungling, getting those stacks because it starts stacking up when you have Machete.
It does. He took the big Wraith. Watch him go Ancient Golem, and I'm right all along.
Oh.
It's super unlikely. But if there's one player to do it, I feel like it would be him. Mashmi dodging away, keeping himself in a decent spot with this one. We're going to see what happens with this matchup here. Of course, it's still bleeding minions. Not too badly, actually. It's only -3, and everyone's kind of traded away potions anyway, so...
So, Pat's off on the side. Here comes the TP and the engagement pro.
Play, the Lantern as well. Big damage comes across now. More does have the flash, but Rune Prison might be too much. One more spell to go. Rhux picks up first blood 5 minutes in for Curse Academy.
That's a lot for a little girl there. He's going to give up pressure in the top lane over Renekton. And typically Ryze is a good counterpick against Renekton. But now he's going to have all that free reign in the top lane. Go ahead and push those waves up. And NoName was seen by a ward.
Yep. Not going to get picked up for
Not
much
quite the
here.
fog of war manipulation he wanted.
Yeah, but ackerman's going to get a big lead in this lane. Look at this, taking down the wave behind the turret. It's going to be a lot of gold denied from Rhux. Even with the first blood gold, you're seeing a 300 gold lead for Curse Academy is going to slowly evaporate as these minions die under the turret. Of course, the dual lane forced to come back in as well. Early Sightstone picked up for more. Going to see if K1's assist helps him with this one.
And Moore started with the Ruby Crystal so he can rush that immediately. It allows him to sweeper, allows him more domination of the vision game in the bot lane. And now he's going to need it because what happened there was just a lack of vision in the tri-brush and seeing the engage. Also some good plays by Pro, though.
Absolutely. I mean, the entire thing worked well, yeah.
Good on them. And as we look across the map here, it's like Rhux. He's going for that build again. Standard build here, but he needs to scale up. And Ackerman put the pressure on, but he's going to have it returned.
Yeah, and we're going to see how well this Renekton can sustain because Ryze actually has already got his second mana crystal. The first blood gave him enough money for that. He had actually recalled for tier Ruby Crystal before the teleport bot. Used that money to grab a Sapphire Crystal, and so it's a Ryze that is scaling quite nicely. Hasn't been punished, only down 7 minions. Path's got to be careful, so does Duocek actually. Moore does have Flash, keep that in mind. He has Ignite as well.
And we've seen that XiaoWeiXiao isn't afraid to dive. He's going to get Pat hit. Oh.
Ooh, he nearly did. Javelin goes back into this one, but the 3-man mid lane right here for LMQ very early on. K1 might look for rotation. Hook's going to come around.
Gets him.
It lands onto Moore. The flash play is going to work. Moore gets himself away a little bit. Javelin to XiaoWeiXiao. He actually tanked it for his teammate to make sure Moore didn't go down.
And the flash came out there from Annie so that he could get that little extra range out of there. Just the rotation very well done there by K1 Pro to keep up with the rotation from Moore. And now we're going to have to see he's got the bonus movement speed. Yeah. He's not going to take it.
You know, we talked about Curse Academy getting a more late game comp, and they've actually made it work through the early game.
Yeah, no bad level 1s.
Nope. Got first blood too.
No buffs from the jungle exchanging into the wrong hands. The game's off to a good start here for Curse Academy.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it. Of course, they are losing gold through the lanes. They're down to plus 300 gold, despite a 600 gold first blood. So the laning phase is actually taxed 300 gold in LMQ's favor in closing this gap right now.
A lot of that's from the mid lane, too, because XiaoWeiXiao has just been putting on a clinic. He knows how to play Nidalee, so he knows how to play against it. But right now, he's getting turned back.
He doesn't. Duocek, I don't think, has enough mana to really make this one happen. You're going to see him still pushed in towards the back.
It's that level advantage there, too. Duocek not even 6. Now he has it, able to clear the wave out. 7 there for XiaoWeiXiao.
And we'll see what else we have for this one. NoName. Yep, level 5 off that camp. Pat is already level 6, though. It is Madrids for both these guys, so there we go. 2 Feral Flare junglers. Ironically, Shyvana having the better gank so far.
Yeah, he has the assist, but he also has the better clear, too. Just being Shyvana and having the burnout and the incredible just AoE damage that builds to the camps.
Ooh, nice knockout from XiaoWeiXiao, actually. But he had to burn an ulti just to stay in lane. He's like really hoping he gets just enough gold for his next item.
He's keeping his fingers crossed on that one. Might have been enough. Now he's heading back.
Culling you is just going to get rid of some of the minions. LMQ kite behind that very smartly. They don't take too much damage from this one. The lane's still trading back and forth. Vamp Scepter, Doran's Blade for both these guys. Hook nearly lands. LMQ played that one very correctly. Duocek grabs his blue buff. Pat still farming. NoName just now hit 6, about a minute behind Shyvana from Pat. 300 gold, still the difference actually. These minions not going any worse here. Another Sapphire Crystal. That'll probably be a Glacial Shroud for Rhux. It's now, what, like a 900 gold item at this point?
950.
Yeah.
It's really cheap. It's cloth armor plus Sapphire Crystal.
Yeah, helps Ryze quite a bit, especially against AD matchups.
And it's not even that much less in terms of stats as it was before. Because really Ryze wanted it for the cooldown reduction.
And the mana.
And the mana more than anything.
Oh yeah, mana, sorry. Let me not offend you.
Mana.
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 You know that Forte is actually also accurate.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's just the adopted pronunciation of Fort because people said it so much that way. Just like mana. And it's kind of just colloquial speech.
Do you say data or data?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Data? Data? I think I say data.
Okay. Star Trek character.
Yeah. That's like when I was a kid, that's the only character I really liked.
That's fun.
I don't know why, because I couldn't understand the show, but I was like, oh, he's all pale. That's cool.
Fits us well as nerds. Here we go. Rhux and Ackerman in a duel up the top lane, but NoName waiting around on the wings. And notice he's in the correct brush. There's a ward that just timed out, actually. But they have no idea that ward timed out, actually. No one saw it when it died. But, of course, you can't go for it anyway. There's a minion right there.
Yeah. Both these junglers are playing very farm-heavy games. Like, we're both going to get Wriggle's Lantern and try to get it to Feral Flare. So the pressure in this game is going to be a lot less. And here comes the stun. And
pretty big stun, but the double dash is actually used early. Here comes NoName taking a bunch of pain. The Ignite onto Rhux. He gets the trade kill, but the red buff just goes to Ackerman. He's going to walk away successfully in that one. Pat pops the ult. He doesn't get much for it. I think he missed XiaoWeiXiao, actually. Duocek now not in the best spot. The Q, will it come across? Get away from your teammate.
2v1, no problem.
Ignite flashes the Q at the right time, keeps himself okay. Man, that was rather close.
Yeah, 2v1 there, and Lulu against the Shyvana, it's just soft kiting backwards with disengage. It's Glitter Lance, you can't close the distance, and now he's rewarded with a turret.
Well, look at XiaoWeiXiao's build. He actually rushed a Xian just to have better burst trading. Doesn't care about the mana regen, doesn't care about CDR. Just wants to burst out.
Oh, he's got the Xian. He's going to do the damage.
It's okay. Summoner heal pop, but top lane turret goes down as well. LMQ, with the slow push lead in 2 of their lanes, have already taken 2 turrets.
And despite the heavy farm game here from the junglers, it's really ganks that transition into dragons, so nobody's touched it yet. And that might be the next point of contention here, considering that this middle turret's gone down. XiaoWeiXiao is going to need a new target in his sights, because he's not the type to just sit around and do nothing.
Definitely not. He's going to sweep away the wards now. 3 sweepers already. 12 minutes in. LMQ killing off 2 trinket wards just now. They have made their way over towards Dragon, and honestly, Curse Academy's duo lane just had to recall, so they're not in position to stop this.
XiaoWeiXiao putting pressure back on a Duocek. Just imagine how devastating that would have been. The Glitter Lance hit.
Yeah. Well, looks like we are going to have potentially Cutlass first for Pat. He's added a longsword after the Wriggles. His stacks, by the way, 17 right here, so not far off the base. He's 8 stacks away from Feral Flare at 12 minutes.
I'm thinking about it too. Athene's, considering that you can no longer get 2 Glitter Lances off of the same help picks, the Xian is actually quite good.
Yeah.
It's going to give you more mana. It's going to give you
trades.
ability. Exactly. And the fact that you have picks, just regular damage on top of it, really good for harassment. You're going to be making Duocek burn through his mana by Primal Surging himself constantly.
Yeah. Well, bottom lane turret will go down, though. Answered for the Dragon recall. Bloodthirster already done. Javelin comes out. XiaoWeiXiao is low. Rhux does not have flash.
He hit a trap.
Okay, Duocek, can you get the chase kill? Isn't spotted. Out of range. XiaoWeiXiao stays alive.
Oh!
That probably hit Pix, but not Lulu.
Yeah, it would have just skewered Pix.
Poor fairy companion. Oh,
Shielded himself, but didn't even matter. I think it would have gone through the shield.
He would have. I think he would have died through the
Just
shield. Yeah,
barely.
It would have been. But it would have been.
It's a good
would
wild
have been
growth.
a max range javelin. Yeah, great wild growth.
Great wild growth. Great chase there by Duocek. If Rhux had flash, XiaoWeiXiao would have been done. And XiaoWeiXiao actually still had flash available to himself. So if he had thought he was in danger, most likely would have flashed. So.
Well, so
that's how well he knows Nidalee. He's like, the range, not going to touch me. Not even close.
Then why even shield? What a jump.
Just because.
Style points. Sending a message. I didn't need this cooldown. All right, so to keep track of the lanes, both AD carries just got their Bloodthirster. Vasilii got his a little bit before those. We've got a few more stacks. Pat finishes off the red buff. Ackerman, he's roaming around a lot. Wow, he gets the ward just in time. Barely caught that one. Good reflex for himself.
Now, once again, XiaoWeiXiao. Turret pushing with the Xian.
Let's see if you can find it. There comes the engage from Pat, though. He is trying to make this one happen. Puts in some damage. XiaoWeiXiao a little bit low, but Pat, I mean, to be fair, jungle Shyvana, that cooldown's so low because you're always attacking. It's like that's okay.
Yeah, it's like 45 seconds if you're just always attacking things. Yeah. Very, very low. So he's going to have that gap closer, just doesn't have any CC. And now he's actually going for the Athene's Unholy Grail after the Xian. Just because he wanted to push turrets faster, just because he wanted to harass in the lane.
It works. I mean, that's the LMQ style, is sieging. Xian works great against turrets.
And it's an early game comp, so why not just go for that big burst in damage?
Well, they're getting a lot for it. They're picking up a lot. They're getting these, these turrets down. They've already got 3 so far. The entire outer ring is gone. Rhux is waiting in the top side, just getting his farm. That seems exactly like the goal for Curse Academy. Ackerman hasn't been top lane for a while. He's been roaming the last few minutes. looking for this push.
Now Rhux definitely off to a better start, has the teleport available to him, and there's a ward, a pink ward, behind LMQ, so if Curse Academy can route them right into it, it may help, but they have a long way to go before that happens.
They really do. This turret very much under siege. XiaoWeiXiao whimsying himself, even for the Xian proc.
Just look at how much he's just bullying this lane. He's gotten that turret by himself.
Yep. It's going to be middle tier 2 going down right. There it is. LMQ picks that one up. 4-2 in turrets right there. 3,000 gold lead. Even though they have very few champion kills, they're out-rotating the competition.
And XiaoWeiXiao's really exploiting the weaknesses of Nidalee, where he doesn't have any wave clear unless he's in his Cougar form. Because all you have to do is Glitter Lance over and over again, if he goes in to try and clear that wave on the Nidalee, you just help picks him, and then Glitter Lance him too at the same time as the wave.
Yeah.
So no matter what you're going to be clearing out, and you can see 50 CS. Now Ackerman, a little far forward here.
You're going to be okay with that one. He's going to back off. Rhux just killing off some of these minions here.
They're more important.
Yeah, I mean,
Guaranteed gold.
Exactly. I mean, Curse Academy really, they are playing a more late game team. Them waiting around, catching the farm. Like, they're only losing in minions in that mid lane matchup. And so I want to see how far down Duocek actually goes. He's down 43 minions. That's a significant margin. But Athene's is done. So at least his items are still moving forward. I just want to see how long it takes before Duocek gets really menacing javelins. Because the farther back that Nidalee is, the more chance that NoName and Ackerman get tank items and are able to ignore those javelins anyway.
And just soak them up.
Yeah.
His team. So it's just going to be a non-factor at that point.
Pretty much.
And it's once again, like what happened last game, if you look at the farm difference between the mid laners, it's not really so much that Duocek has been shut down, or it's not that XiaoWeiXiao has been fed, it's that Duocek's been shut down. He's just not getting the same amount of farm. And last game with XiaoWeiXiao and Nidalee, it was like, whoa, look at those spears, they're chunking for a lot, and Soraka can't heal it all up.
Yeah.
Not because he was fed, but because Soraka just never got going.
Yeah, and he just had such great mechanical skill the last hit minions, it was pretty safe. He takes some quick ward clearing, Ackerman going to dodge away. That ward's going to go down, but he's still going to trade back. Actually burns his Fury in that one, not a big problem though. See another Javelin. Does hit Vasilii in the back, though, but it's Bloodthirster Caitlyn. Should be able to lifesteal back up.
Javelin's getting pretty hefty. Just one item completed here. They're only going to get bigger.
Hits NoName as well. The ward over the wall keeping him pretty safe, but here comes the siege once again. LMQ putting the team to work down to the bottom lane. The flash engage, the box comes down. Tamer's on the backside as well. How will this fight go? Lulu is rotating over. The block, more goes down. Vasilii, one hit from dead, picked up. 2 for 0. Curse Academy look for a third. They can't quite find it. NoName still getting chased down, but here comes XiaoWeiXiao. Javelin doesn't actually quite land, went too far forward. Duocek, though, still on the chase. Ackerman on the other side. There's a TP in as well. Rhux, Rune Prison finds NoName again. The Javelin not quite landing, but that was because of Rune Prison. There's a 3-kill swing for Curse Academy.
And they're in the lead in kills 5-1. It's just objectives that LMQ have had in their favor. 2 turrets up and the Dragon. Dragon in 3 seconds here. It's Curse Academy. They have their eyes on the mid lane. And the reason that fight went the way it did is because it was an engage 5-on-4. Hard engage by Pat and Rhux, just all getting in there, and no XiaoWeiXiao with the disengage with Lulu, which is the key point here for LMQ to keep everybody away, aside from the the sweeping crescent sweep.
There it is. Well, of course, the mid lane outer turret did go down, making that 3-4 in turrets, not far away anymore, and now Dragon being contested. Curse Academy finally getting themselves on the scoreboard for this one. Ackerman waiting in the wings, though. LMQ don't want to give this up, but their jungler's not around. Pat, he doesn't actually get the lantern for himself, does get the smite. Big damage, Moore goes down first, but Pat's got nowhere to go. He's going to fall over. Vasilii taking an ulti just to be sure. Their Ackerman in the wings does have some fury. NoName re-engaging as well. Rhux taking some pain. Javelin comes across. They do not take down the Crocodile. They're still going to have to try to run away from this one. A -1 fight for Dragon. Not exactly what Curse Academy wanted, but at least they got something.
And they're almost even in gold, so it was actually a good trade on the overall. And now back to clearing the waves, back to trying to siege this up against a Nidalee.
Well, we'll see. The last minion goes down. The minion NoName has to tank this, but he doesn't take enough damage. That will be a dead turret. 5 now for LMQ. They've taken most of the outer ring.
So if Curse Academy ends up winning another fight, there is gold for them to take on the map. We saw it there where they got the turret. We're going to see here, Pat decides to stay in and just smite it away, and then Moore just gets dropped there by Mashme with actually a really great fade away on his auto attack.
Yeah.
And then Rhux, he just gets collapsed on here by 4 members.
Curse Academy, they seemed so afraid to fight that. NoName wasn't in the battle yet. They knew that LMQ was trickling in, but the fact that they waited, let Pat get soloed, and then like refought later. It was just strange shot calling by Curse Academy.
Yeah, and this is something that we've seen from Curse Academy multiple times, where their beginning of their game is really solid, and then their late game decision making, it seems like there might be something a little like conflicting calls. One person wants to say like, I need the dragon, we need the dragon.
Yeah.
Which it actually was a good call in the overall because it went even in gold, but they lost the bottom turret, and they may have been a little afraid because they hadn't backed since they last beat LMQ in that fight. Whereas LMQ were coming out strong. Full items, full gold spent, combat stats just ready to go.
Yeah.
So in the overall, they were actually a little bit stronger.
Yeah. That seemed the case there. XiaoWeiXiao going to grab his own blue buff. Fighting the golem. There we go. Finally gets it. Plus 8 gold for the little mini guy. You got a 1,500 gold lead for LMQ. Definitely not the same as Game 1 here. Game 1 was almost over by this point. The middle inhibitor was dead by this point in Game 1. Curse Academy only down 2 turrets, up 3 kills. Equalizing many of the objectives here. Nearly coming online fairly soon. Has the needlessly large rod. But Lich Bane already done for XiaoWeiXiao is a bit of an item lead.
And Vasilii, he's actually already purchased Alacrity on his boots after the Zeal. So he's just going straight for that mobility and trying to get out of the claws of Pat.
Yeah.
And away from Rhux. Keep him at arm's distance.
Yeah, really wants to disengage that. I mean, Caitlyn is naturally out of Ryze's reach.
Just barely.
So if you can stay out, I mean, yeah, enough to matter. Enough where you can probably auto and still run away as long as you're not getting caught by a flash or something. But Rhyze is a good champion at killing AD carries. As soon as you land the Rune Prison, all the tricks are out the window, and Vasilii will have maybe a bad time here. He does have the one summoner heal, though. Moore did run Ignite, whereas Exhaust for KO1 is going to be pretty useful at stopping some damage output. Curse Academy about to get engaged on. LMQ rotating in from the side. Actually, the flank as well for XiaoWeiXiao. You guys might have to be careful with this one. Vasilii coming down as well. Looks like ships passing in the night. No fight.
And the Feral Flare completed on Pat, and now it looks like he wants to go for both Randuins and Blade of the Rune.
I think it's just the Cutlass for the slow, and he'll stop for a while.
Yeah.
Finish Randuins, finish Banshees, then move forward. That's my guess on his build. Of course, Sork Shoes and Early Distortion did come out for more. So he's got more flashes. He runs faster when he flashes for 1 second in case he didn't quite get in a range. But also the Tier 2 Frostfang line. They've been again under fire. We'll see if Curse Academy can make their way in once again. But of course, LMQ ready to defend.
Hook comes in down to NoName.
NoName takes some decent damage. Flash engage finds Rhux. Can he survive this one? In comes the engage from Shyvana. The box down as well. Exhaust on Vasilii cuts his damage down rather quickly. Ackerman still on the front lines. Great Q comes across. Low health bars now on Curse Academy. XiaoWeiXiao finds the Q. 90-degree angle takes down the dragon.
And that's just the power of Lulu right there. Whimsy yourself to re-engage and just help Pix Glitter Lance across. So I thought nobody was going to get out. I thought everybody's going to get out of the fight with nobody dying.
Yeah.
And then XiaoWeiXiao just says, nope, that's not going to happen. Was straight in. He still had his flash available to him. We're going to see here. That goes on to NoName, but that says for more, let's get Rhux. They go after him, put a lot under Rhux, but Pat tries to disengage it. Ackerman goes a little deep, gets Rune Prisoned up, and Rhux is now kiting backwards with Ryze's spells, trying to get them out of there, and XiaoWeiXiao says, oh, they're all grouped. And Rhux eats, oh, doesn't need it for him. Pat actually takes it, and that was the actual combination there.
Yeah, Kate snipe into 90-degree Lulu Q worked quite well. LMQ do go +1 on that fight, putting them now 3,000 gold ahead. That lead is ever so slowly growing. Randuin soon to be completed here for Pat. That might help him a bit. But until he gets magic resist, he's got to be afraid of Lulu and Annie. When you saw the engages, like, Moore was okay engaging on just Rhyze.
Yeah.
And it worked out to start the fight out. He had to flash away, took a lot of cooldowns as well, maybe a summoner heal or two. And you're seeing, you know, Curse Academy, it's weird because I still feel like they don't have to rush anything.
No, they don't. They
got
have
a 5-2 Rhyze. You can wait.
They have that late game composition, and the fights have actually been going pretty well, considering you're going even with LMQ at the 24-minute mark, whereas this game, last game was over by around 27?
23.
23?
It was already over
by this point.
Yeah.
It was gone. And now Dragon's up at 15 seconds. They know they want to set up for it, so Curse Academy having this control, but they're standing over 2 wards.
I'm going to get rid of this one with the pink ward. 8 seconds. There's the hook on the
NoName.
NoName. Can they find another battle? They dive right in on towards Rhux. Here comes the culling, but it hits almost nobody there. Rhux in the back line getting blown up, but Moore does fall over. Rhux still trying to kite back. Chaos nowhere to go. He does fall down. 1-for-1 on the battle. Ackerman still wreaking havoc in the back lines. Pat forced to run away as well. Flashes away. Duocek now turned into a cupcake. A double kill now for NoName. This fight going well for LMQ. Pat also slowed down. 3 kills, LMQ, crushing the fight.
Once again, evening up the kills, and the Dragon being started up by LMQ now. It's most likely going to fall into their hands.
Yeah.
There we go.
217 per person.
So obviously Rhux has a big target on his back, and their LMQ is just putting so much into that. Ackerman goes straight after him. NoName tunnel visions him into the pit, didn't have flash to get out.
Yeah.
So they knew he was pinned in there, but meanwhile, Curse Academy says, let's go after more. Let's kill more. And they do. But at what cost? A lot. They give up the Dragon, they give up 3 kills for that 1.
Yeah. The box wasn't even up as well from K1. It's up now, but he couldn't cast it during that fight. And I mean, when you've got a front line of Renekton and Xin Zhao who need to kind of run at you to make things happen, that box means a heck of a lot. And they couldn't peel him off Rhux. Rhux still trying to get some more durability into his build. Merc Treads plus the Frozen Heart just not doing enough for him yet.
He really had his back up against the wall, and it was stand your ground at that point.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, he went into the Dragon Pit, couldn't get over anything. There was a Lantern there to possibly help him, but it was a little out of reach by the time that NoName and Ackerman made it to him.
Yeah, so we'll see now the power spikes coming in. Phantom Dancer already done for Vasilii's Caitlyn. 1, 1, and 3, 227 minions. Triforce Bloodthirster now done for Mashmi. The question is how much armor has now showed up on the LMQ frontline, because that's the power spike for Lucian, but he's fighting a completed Randuin's and most of a Randuin's on the 2 frontliners of LMQ, so might be too little too late. 26 minutes, the 2 item mark.
Frozen Heart here too on Rhux against Vasilii.
Yeah. We'll see, the Rhux, I feel like, is not even allowed to be in range, though. Defensive or offensive auras have about 700 range, which means that...
Yeah, it's pretty much just for Ackerman and NoName when they jump on him.
It's if Caitlyn's attacking him, then she's in range. Otherwise, she can hit the rest of the front line.
She'll be going after Pat majority of the time.
So, yeah, it's slowing down the Xin Zhao's technique, but it does matter, and it matters a little bit for Renekton. The dive in now, more taking a bit of damage, down to half already, getting exploded. There's a Q in, but no ulti for Mashmi. He used it to wave clear last time he recalled. And so now it's going to be the Golem buff, though, still taking Curse Academy. Killing these rather quickly. Looks like, I think Duocek got the blue, but Mashmi's wearing one as well. Or does get to recall safely.
Steal it away. They deny a charge of Feral Flare.
Yeah.
To NoName if he was going to take it for himself. And to see now they're just going to continue this 5k gold advantage now for LMQ. Rhux in the mid lane, and XiaoWeiXiao's pinching from the side.
Oh man, with a couple of friends as well. Banshee's Veil still there for Ackerman. Wow, the dash used by Mashmi, maybe a little bit aggressive. Kato comes in. There's the culling as well. Gonna block out a bit of the damage as Ackerman. You do get the tier 2 turret and the disengage. So Curse Academy not saying die. They're coming back for what advantages they can. Though LMQ tend to win fights. Bit of a gold lead now, mid lane under fire as well. Down to 1/3. Curse Academy gonna stay for this one, but LMQ right on their heels, but they don't get the engage.
And most of the deaths on LMQ are from Moore. He just sacrifices himself for the engagement, and he doesn't even get assists on the back of it because he's been dead for so long when people die.
Yeah. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that Moore is actually still building Squishy. He's going for some cooldown reduction instead of like more health or something. He's also still leaving Bolt Shield at rank 1. I mean, this is the guy who's diving in first, taking burst damage, but is leaving Bolt Shield at 1 point.
He's got a fiendish codex.
Yeah. I mean, he's going for probably Frost Queen's claim.
It's possible he's rushing straight for that, yeah.
He could DFG.
He could Banner of Command.
It's an option. I don't think they need it.
Do it more.
I don't think they need the extra split push pressure. They have
Bring the banner of your people.
Command. We're going to see what happens. Rhux forced back on this one. His teleport is up, but Ryze is not the fastest split pusher. He just threatens with his farm.
Now they're just threatening to do the Baron. You know we do it, Curse Academy.
It's a real threat.
LMQ say.
K1 removing a couple of wards. He does spot these guys. The ward over there spots that LMQ is around. They are waiting around in the pit. Looking for the fight. Got to be careful. Mashmi's going to get flash stunned up. There's the engage with Tibbers as well. Mashmi taking the McHales, but has nowhere to go. Kill picked up by the ulti of NoName. Box comes down, but doesn't help. K1 forced to run away. 1 for 0. 80 carry dead. Disengaged for Curse Academy.
That was so fast that the flash and the heal from Mashmi on top of the McHales from Pro was still not enough.
Yeah.
To get him out of that. It was get in there by Ackerman, and now with the 80 carry down, they might attempt to do the Baron. Duocek can still throw spears in, so they may hesitate a bit to try it, but it's always an option now. Oh.
Good Javelin puts NoName to half. Will the team... So LMQ can continue to bait Baron, But they
oh,
have
Pat's on the wrong side, and there's a stun from Moore available.
He's not quite in range, though, of course. Flash on cooldown. Looks like Curse Academy with the Javelin onto Vasilii do stop the entire engagement. And Mashme's back alive. Pat takes a Lantern out as well. Curse Academy not playing too panicked, but keep in mind, LMQ keep making the right moves. They're finding kills. They're winning fights. This game was 6-3 in kills not that long ago. It's now 7-8.
And now, the right move, like you said, not starting up the Baron, is perfect. Because if they had started up, they would have been taking extra damage. They had Nidalee Spears coming straight at them over and over and over again. So just sitting there and trying to bait people into them. They did rout Pat, but the fact that they didn't give up a free Baron is huge.
Yes.
So many teams would have just gone for it. Would have been like, we got Mash, it's time to go.
Yeah. The one thing to keep in mind, actually, is though there's still an item disparity to keep in mind. So double Randuin's Omen is here for LMQ, and there's no Last Whisper for Mashme. Meanwhile, Randuin's not even completed for Pat in the jungle, but Last Whisper already done for Vasilii anyway. There's a very big difference in frontline power here.
Yeah, and Pat went for the Blade of the Ruined King before he finished.
He did.
The Randuin.
I'm surprised.
Wanted the damage, wanted the slow for the rest of his team, I guess, so that Rhux could speed up, and Randuin would have done the same for him.
Well, another blue buff steal, though. Mashme going to try to solo the dragon away.
Meanwhile,
much cooler without the attacks being slow.
Can't see that ward with that pink.
Yeah, it's across the wall.
But they can always just disengage. And
yeah, I mean, LMQ, they're setting up these traps, but they don't have complete ward control. So they're actually really losing out in a lot of the ways that they could be getting fixed, because no one's going to dive that when they know that there's no threat of Baron dying. Once again, they don't see that ward. It's just free javelins. And look, Chris Gabby just go mid.
Oh, we were hatching one the entire time.
There you go. And the recalls come in. They know mid inhibitor's not worth Baron, so LMQ forced back off this mid lane push by Curse Academy.
And now, NoName and Moore are left to their own devices in the jungle. Decide not to pincer around. That's not the call that's coming out here. It's just play it safe, get your jungle, and we'll see what happens from here.
Yeah, and this actually lets Curse Academy get ward control back over Baron. The pink ward in the pit deep enough to watch any wards against the walls. I'm pretty sure anyway. None of them going to be sneaking around, but they removed the pinks of LMQ as well. So that mid lane push gave ward control back to the blue team. 2,000 gold separate the teams. Bot lane has a big wave, so does top lane. Vasilii's going to take the top lane wave. Going to see if someone grabs the ones towards the bottom side of the map, towards the east.
So here's something. Rhux, instead of going for Banshee's Veil or some type of defensive item, goes straight for the Void Staff.
This is risky. So his flash is up. He doesn't have distortion boots, though. If he plays it right, there's low risk of him getting caught out and dying, because there should be multiple frontline threats. There should be the box. There should be a Shyvana. And then he can remove NoName and Ackerman, and they can kill the frontline and push forward. But it puts a lot of strain on Pat to not die, which I feel like him going Ruined King is not going to happen.
It's not going to help that, yeah. And Rhux and NoName, sorry, Ackerman and NoName, because I see Reconnected and I'm like, Rhux.
Yeah, right.
It's Ackerman and NoName. They have a lot of magic resist in their pockets already. See Hexbreaker, Merc Treads, and Banshee's Veil.
Yeah,
and then
that's why you go Void Staff.
Vector's Cal, etc. So that's why he went Void Staff. He's very effective against this team currently, but at the same time, Ackerman and NoName might not be on Rhux every time. We saw that they are willing to change targets and blow everything on Mash in a split second without hesitation.
There we go. Looks like a little bit of a push towards his mid lane. Oh, Ackerman going to get hit for a little bit of damage, loses the Banshee's Veil. Javelin still shooting out, but none of them hit just yet. Rhux off with the team as well. Ackerman taking a bit more poke. Mashme down to half mana, but that's enough to fight with Lucian. A haste onto Xin Zhao. The hook onto Moore. The engage comes in. The box comes down. Rhux now on the front lines doing a good amount of damage. Moore will almost fall over, but not quite. Rhux forced to flash away. He overextended. Javelin onto NoName. K1 in a bad spot. Flash to the wall. Still goes down. Overextension by Curse Academy. They give up a kill.
And Rhux, he was doing a lot of damage there at the start. We saw the Void Staff look like it was going to pay off. He was just wrecking through Ackerman, but eventually turned in onto him, and Vasilii's damage alongside XiaoWeiXiao is just too much at this point in the game. And
only one person on LMQ even had to flash in that fight. Most of their summoners are still here. Curse Academy burned 3 of theirs. It's a summoner spell lead as well for LMQ. And LMQ still got the kill lead in that fight, on a fight that Curse Academy wanted.
And I want to frame this too. Look at the CS on XiaoWeiXiao compared to Duocek.
Yeah.
100 up. He knows how to play that matchup versus Nidalee. He knows how to exploit her weaknesses, and now they're going for a Baron with Mash me, nowhere near this.
Oh, there's going to be a bit of a risk now. Baron dangerously low, almost no chance of a steal. Javelin comes through to Vasilii, but not going to be nearly enough. Now Pat forced to run slowed down, and the Dragon Form wasn't yet available. Another kill comes through. LMQ dominating now the late mid game.
Pat was just passing by, and man, he got a present for that one.
Yeah.
Chunked down immediately. 405, 324 CS for XiaoWeiXiao. He has so much more gold than Duocek right now in this game.
Yeah, he's about to complete his next major item. 900 gold in the inventory. Not going to be far away from the Zonias. You're going to see 2,000 gold, 1,300 total on Vasilii.
He's got 3,000 more than Duocek right now. Yeah. Basically a whole completed item over him.
Yeah, and you're seeing almost the same thing happen among the AD carries as well. Most of maybe minus like 700 gold, an Infinity Edge here for Vasilii. He's nearly going to complete that item. Mashmi just barely finishing his last Whisper, which again they could have really used in that last fight. Curse Academy, I mean, thing is some of these forces have been working. Most of their mid game moves were made from down in gold and it worked, but to try to kill a front line without a last Whisper done is a pretty risky situation. Curse Academy, that fight did backfire.
Ooh, they're trying to collapse on Rhux here. NoName can close the distance with Audacious Charge. He flashes, too.
Rune Prison not even used. Rhux going to go back for damage on XiaoWeiXiao, but down he goes right away.
It's a flash Audacious Charge. You didn't want to even give Rhux a chance.
Didn't have one there. It's going to be not the best situation. Now Pat and K1 forced away. Blue buff was smited up. That at least was taken here for... Actually, I believe that did still go to Duocek. No, they did go on a Pat, but he's got to have the Dragon Form. Goes over the wall. Did get a Lantern, but didn't get to use it. But now he's without the ultimate there. LMQ now look for the mid lane. They've got Baron. They've got the champion lead, 5v4 for 23 seconds. They've got the gold lead as well. Mid inhibitor turret goes down. Inhibitor also.
This Baron buff, they're just going to heal up a little bit right now. Ackerman gets caught, but they don't have the engage to follow up afterwards.
No. They have no front line right now. They can't go in for a fight like this. LMQ, they can just make the rotation back now to the bottom lane right here and look for more advantages in this matchup.
And now XiaoWeiXiao with the completed Lich Bane from early on, with all this AP behind it, just shreds turrets so quickly that the Siege is basically walk up, clear wave, hit the tower once or twice, and then just do it over again every 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, here they go. 37-20 in the game. LMQ with this win guaranteed themselves a spot in the North American LCS Summer Promotion Tournament. If CA can't hold on, they fight the third place match. There's the engage, finds a stun on a Pat and Mashmi. Bit of damage comes through. More low on health, taking the turret. He's going to stay alive though. Rhux in the backlines. He's going to go down. NoName still alive as well. Ackerman wreaking havoc back there, not going down whatsoever. More coming back into this fight. Pat showing up. They finally get the kill onto Annie. The culling dealing some great damage. Honestly, Vasilii does fall over. There's actually a bit of a kill lead for Curse Academy. Can they chase? LMQ out of the base. W is going to land from the chase.
Whimsy's down.
Move forward. Whimsy, yeah, has been used, but XiaoWeiXiao.
He just speeds ahead of all of them.
Yeah, helps the team get out of this one. They're going to be pretty safe. Duocek not going to land that Javelin. Looks like LMQ, though, they get a turret for a -1. Still +3 kills. LMQ going to get Dragon on the way out.
So Rhux sacrifices his life here to actually Rune Prison more and keep him locked up because he's too far forward. Now Ackerman and NoName are all over him. Moore takes some turret shots. They tries to come back, but Rhux is down. He's gone out of the fight. Ackerman a little overextended here, but at the same time, have the re-engage and boom. Moore, he was way in the back. He comes back in all the way into the fight to help his team out, and the overextension wasn't really an overextension because they were rewarded with the turret. So they had the support, and Moore just sacrificed his life to keep them in the fountain so that the rest of his team could take out the turret.
Yeah, it worked really, really well overall. And I got to say, the coordination of LMQ right there. You saw Mikhail's come through in the Renekton stun, but it was Xin Zhao knockup, into the knockup coming in from Lulu ulti, and Rhux couldn't go anywhere. Has his flash up now, but it was too much damage for him to survive last time. He's going to be adding his combine on Saros fairly soon. Just needs the recipe for that one. The shield will help him stay alive a little bit more, but yeah, the lack of durability on Rhux. He started the game out, I believe, 5-1. Uh-oh, more. Sees K1, doesn't go in for it. Sweeps the ward. Puts one down to protect himself.
But on the flip side, Ackerman and XiaoWeiXiao have just been having amazing games.
Yeah.
107, 506, just dominating their lanes. 127 CS up for XiaoWeiXiao. And then in the top lane, you have Renekton, who was pretty much even throughout the start of the game, but he's up to a 30 CS lead now over Rise, who will basically just destroy Renekton in the late game.
Yes, you will. We're going to see LMQ starting to poke at the vulnerabilities of the base. Mid inhib already dead. Bottom inhibitor turret is gone. I mean, that structure is available. Hook's not quite going to land right there. I don't know if it was a fight they wanted anyway. Ward's being swept back. XiaoWeiXiao looking for the ways to poke. Lichbane doing very large damage. Bot inhib about to fall over. The poke coming through. There's the inhibitor number 2 going down.
It's just so quick. The amount of damage that XiaoWeiXiao is stacked on with a 383 CS and the 506 on the Lulu. The AP into that early Xian that he got into the Lichbane is just paying off hugely. And now they're just going to rotate and systematically take Curse Academy apart. Take every turret in this game.
Working very nicely. Top turret number 2 going to be taking a whole bunch of pain down below half. Looks like Pat not going to find his way in on this one just yet, but now Curse Academy are running out of structures in their base. Mid inhib coming back up shortly. Next 15 seconds for that one, but there's another wave coming in. Hook's going to land on a XiaoWeiXiao. The flash rune person, they go in, but he stays alive for now. Pat in the back lines. They find 1 kill. Rhux staying alive. He's spellbending up, but he's going to go down. A 3-for-1 fight. Curse Academy finding their way back in. More in Ackerman. The only ones alive. Renekton now has got basically nowhere to go. Pat still on the chase. It's going to be Renekton finally falling over. Annie also to drop. Baron's up in 50 seconds.
That's an ace, and by the time the LMQ even spawned, Baron will be up. So if Curse Academy position themselves, clear out their base, they can pick it up immediately and start turtling without it on the field. This is a great hook into a flash rune prison to take out XiaoWeiXiao. He tries to flash away, but Pat is all over him. Rhux sacrifices his life for this, but there's just so much AoE damage in the collapse. And then Mash Me, all of them just grouping up, trying to take out Ackerman here, and they leave more to Pat.
Takes him out right there, so down. Of course, you can watch the rest of these kills go in, but I was also impressed by the amount of spell vamp that came through from Rhux, right? His health bar was going up and down throughout that fight, and now I'm curious, you know, the respawns are coming in right now, but looks like there's no Baron timer for Curse Academy. It's up this very second. It could be rushed down, and Curse Academy are not in position for it.
And they're just clearing out their base, trying to stop the super minions from getting another inhibitor. And now LMQ, with that inhibitor down bottom, the way that it is.
Yeah, that's the right spot for it. To be fair, Rhux has teleport, so there's going to be the small window of super minions actually applying pressure while the TP is up. The LMQ has to bait that cooldown out if they want to secure an easy 5v4 Baron. Don't know if they can do it.
We'll have to see. They're once again going to try to bait this setup for it. It's usually how they do. They won't do it unless it's pretty much a guaranteed Baron or a bait. They'd rather bait than start.
Well, this
they
going
get
to land.
Pat.
Pat forced to ulti back over a wall, though. He's going to be safe. Annie's stun now available. The Moore has flash and Tibbers. 4 sweepers on the team. Turret's going down. Pat has to lurk around here. Thing is, K1 can lantern him out, but Moore is waiting in the wings. This Baron's going down rather rapidly. It falls, actually. There's the engaged stun on the Thresh. He's got nowhere to go. I don't know why Thresh was that far forward, but he's going to fall off. LMQ now 5v4 with Baron. 2 inhibitors exposed, bottom one already dead anyway.
And LMQ has so much in-your-face engage. Audacious Charge. Just get the slice and dice right in there. Get the Lulu Whimsy and the Flash Tibbers. So if you are even an inch too far forward, they will take advantage of that and eat you up. They're going for this inhibitor right now in the mid lane. Bottom still down with the Baron buff up on them. This could be the game-winning push if more kills fall into their hands.
Big wave flooding in 27 seconds on the support respawn. NoName taking a bit of damage from the co-link, but not nearly going to be enough. Infinity Edge was completed for Mash Me. He's also got him a, not Mechil's but Mercurial, not Mercurial Scimitar either. Quicksilver Sash! Woo! There we go. Quicksilver Sash does come through for him. Plus Furor Boots on the upgrade. It's going to be, looks like, Banshee's Veil for Vasilii, of course, the earlier pickup on Alacrity. Doesn't mean too terribly much for him anymore, but he's still more mobile. It's useful. But high DPS builds now for both AD carries. They've completed their major offensive builds. It's now just how durable are they. So the backlines are strong. Rise is done building offense as well. We'll see if that's a Banshee's or a Spirit Visage for Rhux, but he's learning to grab some magic resist. Seraph's Embrace done for him. More tankiness coming in. Pat still without any magic resist, though. That, I feel like, is a risk.
Yeah. He got the Thornmail, so he's trying to deal with the damage from Vasilii, Ackerman, and NoName, but XiaoWeiXiao is still a very real magic damage threat.
Wow.
Not if he's chunked down, though.
Yeah, so that's a 2 Javelin kill for XiaoWeiXiao. Some damage goes back onto the NoName as well. He's going to be okay, though, for now. Backing off. LMQ do have to respect the poke that comes through. but they've got a dead inhibitor and a Baron buff, meaning they've got plenty of regen and a lot of room to siege.
So inhibitor is available for them to take down bottom. Dragon is also up, and the hook, ooh, not landing there.
Does not hit him. The LMQ, they're saying bottom lane, the open inhibitor. Let's take that. Minions are going to distract mid lane a little bit. We've got a regular wave down here with a cannon for what it's worth. Javelin lands more, actually tanks it rather successfully with some extra MR. Banshee's Veil, of course, helping with that one. And now comes the push. Javelin number 2 not going to land right here.
Has Flash Tibbers available for him. So as soon as somebody's out of position, it's going to happen.
Fine, Vasilii down to half, though. Good Javelin lands there. Duocek does keep this inhib alive for now. Finds NoName as well. Takes a quarter off his health. LMQ, though, still waiting with the Baron region. Their health bar's coming up rather quickly. Moore takes another one, though. Banshee's Veil refuses to come back up. Mashby still finding some more damage. Moore almost in range to Tibber somebody. Head off in the wings. Couple of traps come down. Qi-Lin getting Ackerman to half. Curse Academy actually go in for the fight. Hook's not going to land. NoName forced back, though.
This might not be a great situation for LMQ to engage at this point because Rhux is so strong, he'd be able to just decimate NoName and possibly take out Vasilii. Yeah, at this point.
Even lower. Hook comes in. Ackerman is going to be knocked around. There's Pat into the back line. Fight's going to start. NoName going to get jumped. He's going to run away. More is okay as a kill. 1-for-1. Jungler for support. Ackerman still going to be going down. Wow. K1 Pro forced back, has to flash away from that one. Rhux also taking damage. Mashby, he does go down. That's going to happen for XiaoWeiXiao. The dive still coming in. Down goes the Rhux. Down goes almost everyone. Curse Academy, 2 versus 4. This should be the game. LMQ to 2-0, finally in the semifinal, fighting tooth and nail, but they will make it to the LCS Summer Promotion Tournament and into the finals.
They have not lost a best of 3 that they have participated in since being formed as LMQ over here in America.
Yeah.
They've lost games, they've lost best of 1s, but they've not lost best of 3s ever. So just sticking to that from start to finish wasn't them all the way through it. Curse Academy came back multiple times, and it was a tug of war, and Rhux was really the linchpin in that helped Curse Academy stay in it. Yeah. And that last fight was pretty much a non-factor, was being zoned off. Pat, little too aggressive, had to dive back in, and they focused him down so quickly. At LMQ, their targeting in team fights is really astounding because they know who to prioritize, and they don't hesitate to do it. You're sitting there, I sit there and think, if they had like haphazardly targeted that person, it wouldn't have worked out.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm imagining the voice comms are probably kind of similar to TS. I'm like, Vayne. Just get him. Rhux. Get the Rise. Get the Lucian. All in him. Like, when they say all in, I mean all in. Flash, slice. Get him with whatever you can. That part where the Mikhails came out didn't even save Mashby twice is ridiculous. That just shows how much CC they layered on top of each other to complete their goals.
And you saw that like there was no MR itemization at all from Curse Academy either. You saw that they're like, let's stack on the Thornmail on top of the Random's Omen on top of the Ninja Tabby, which just gave free reign to XiaoWeiXiao. You saw how much he would chunk these guys. Picked up a couple of kills in cleanup. You saw the Flash re-engage to take down Mashby in that very last fight right there. There just was not really that much durability for them, and you saw how quickly the burst came out. Lichbane, Deathcap, Void Staff, Athenes. Huge damage from Lulu.
Yeah, and the build order, too. Going with the Sheen early on to push the turrets and bully the Nidalee in lane.
Yeah.
And compensate for some of the changes to Lulu, where the help picks doesn't last long enough for 2 glitter lances.
Yeah.
Just really just taking it to him and showing that Lulu is still a very viable pick in the lane and in team fights.
Yeah, and he did so much the entire game where they're hasting people in. And I was watching for it. Sometimes it was a whimsied Annie waiting, saying, and threatening, saying, I can flash tibbers you, back off, and creating all these zones of pressure, you know, forcing the back lines away. You saw Mashby would pop his ulti very early in fights just to deal the poke damage, knowing that he's going to be under threat for the rest of the battle anyway, and just trying to get health bars low. And despite all that poke, how much damage came through from the javelins? LMQ didn't flinch, found the engage, and crushed the fight.
Yeah, I thought NoName was going to back off surely after that fight, being taken down to 1/5 HP before it even started, which was just crazy. Normally, you're just like, all right, we don't need this. We don't need any of that. You guys can just do your own thing. We'll go back to base, heal, and then we'll come back and do this again. Yeah. They're like, no, we got to have the game-winning push right now.
Yeah.
And just that determination and the fearlessness of NoName in that matchup. It's just like, I don't care. I'm going to go in. I'm going to audacious charge. That's fine.
Yeah,
you
guys
guys
audacious, but it worked.
It's very audacious.
Lives up to the name. lives up to the name, guys. So now that the twists and turns of today's games are in the rearview mirror, let's take a look at where we are now in the bracket. LMQ is headed into the finals versus Cloud9 Tempest.
And Complexity Black will face off with Curse Academy in a crucial third-place match with a trip to the Summer Promotion Tournament on the line.
And so tomorrow we have the long-awaited conclusion of the Spring North American Challenger Series with a third-place showdown between Complexity Black and Curse Academy. The team that takes the last Nexus takes the last spot in the promotion tournament.
And immediately following, we'll crown the Challenger Series champs after Cloud9 Tempest takes on LMQ. And don't forget, these are all best-of-5 matches, and the race to the NA LCS begins at 12 noon Pacific Daylight Time, 6 p.m. Central European Summertime.
Yeah, 9 p.m. actually for European Summertime. Writers, you screwed us. 12 noon Pacific, 9 p.m. Central European Summertime. Now with that, it's time to dim the lights on the Challenger Series semifinals. But before we go, I want to say thanks again to our friends at Coca-Cola and also to Voivo and Medios for their help in hanging out with us today. And on behalf of myself, Zyrene, Jat, and the entire live broadcast crew, good night and GG. There's a hook. It lands on a Duocek. Not good. Down she goes. Soraka has fallen. Pat also in a bad spot. 2 kills picked up. Ackerman claims that with the ulti. Now 3 on 5. Javelin's gonna land. There's the hook on the NoName. Can they find another battle? They dive right in on towards Rhux. Here comes the culling, but it hits almost nobody there. Rhux in the back line getting blown up, but more does fall over. Rhux still trying to kite back. He has nowhere to go. He does fall down. 1-for-1 in the battle. Ackerman still wreaking havoc in the back lines. Pat forced to run away as well. Flashes away. Duocek now turned into a cupcake. A double kill now for NoName.